water signs, this is your reading for the next 7 to 10 days. I'm starting with Cancer, moving on to Pisces and Scorpio. I will at some point try and remember to timestamp it below. But Cancer, this is your archetype for the next week. A animal. There's a real desire for freedom here, or even what's coming through is feeling really restricted. But there's like almost something bubbling up within you here, Cancer. With this archetype, it talks about the wild one, the she-wolf, being really driven towards something, towards having even your basic needs met in terms of companionship, food, procreation, physicality. There's a real push here to try and unblock something that's blocked and kind of come to life, but there is confusion about how to do that. So you've got on the Kipper this week, marriage, expectation, and the privileged lady, and this is a drive towards a connection. It can just be a meeting with the marriage. It doesn't need to be an actual relationship, but it probably is for most, with the Two of Cups coming out on the privileged lady. Just an overwhelming desire and push and drive to get your needs met, maybe, you know, but it comes with fear. It comes with fear that it's not happening, or it's not happening quick enough, or there's just a fear, because it's actually with the shadow side now. This is the Devil card in my Witch's Tarot, which when confronted isn't often as frightening as we imagine it to be. This is just you know, fears that have been built up in your mind over time. So yeah, this is kind of like fearing the bogeyman here. It's like you really want something, but you're terrified of the very same thing. It's very hunter energy that's coming through from my angels and ancestors, I'm seeing. It's about tracking down your desires and fears, and they're ultimately the same thing. So again, there's this kind of desire to, you know, break through obstacles with the Mountain card here. And with the foxes, there's definitely a bit of a slight warning in terms of how you achieve your objective, because the fox will be prepared to, you know, lie, steal, and manipulate to have their needs met. So that's for some of you, that's something to bear in mind. The expectation with the Mountain, with these blocks, this yearning, this longing, is to come out of a place of feeling alone, I think. Not feeling warmth, not having enough. Maybe it's just, you know, there is a little snowdrop here. Seen my first snowdrop about a week ago. So maybe it's just, you know, coming out of winter, moving into spring, and sort of, you know, having that desire to, you know, switch it all up. This is like the year, and I'm going to, you know, get this and get that. And the privileged lady can just be, you know, a person that you're attracted to. She can just be, she can be a sister, she can be a friend. So, you know, it doesn't need to be a romantic reading for some of you. But the push is in this direction. It may be that you want to marry someone who's rich, that is going to lift you out of your Five of Pentacles. So, you know, maybe you're feeling a bit like the low brass in pocket, and there's someone here that's caught your eye, and it might sort of be like killing two birds with one stone here. Gosh, and I think that's why the fox is coming in as a bit of a red flag. So it's not like a pure desire. There is a drive here, but there is a lurking darkness with the devil energy being here. Two of Cups on the privileged lady. This is the attraction. This is the draw. This is the coming together of two. And this is what this animal instinct, primordial instinct, is really focused on. And yet we do have this fox. So you know, I could be reading for the other side here. Just bear that in mind. Let's just have a look at the fox. What do we want? Yeah, my fairy oracle. Because it's almost like the ends just justify the means. Is that right? The means justify the end. I know I'm not saying that right. all's fair in love and war. That is that sort of vibe, which is not cool. It's like going shopping when you're hungry. You know, not a good idea. It's just, there's just an overwhelming desire and drive here. For connection, maybe for relationship, maybe, you know, yeah, it's to have your basic needs met. And I don't know, the drive almost feels like it's kind of running the show here. You know, we've gone into our what part of the brain do you call that? Is it the stem? I think it begins with an S. I've forgotten the word. It's not reptilian. Shit. No, you might know what I mean. It's like, you know, our basic instincts. Yeah. Show me why the fox is here on this Two of Cups for. Yeah. That's Jehovah. This talks about fear. Oopsie. That was a bit of a spinner. There is a fear here, but and I do have the mountain, which is a kind of similar energy to Jehovah. He is like the troll on the bridge. This is this fear that's coming in here. I don't know specifically whether it's just about connecting, you know, with a certain person, with one person, whether you're going to, you know, get yourself out of, you know, a lack mentality or waiting. I don't know specifically what it is, but Jehovah usually, it would indicate that it's he thrives in your fears. You know, the fact that you have fears around this will almost feed it, and it will just grow and grow and grow. But he also says that we're blowing our fears out of proportion sometimes. So it is like the bogeyman. It's not in reverse. If it was in reverse, it would be realistic caution, and it's not that, Cancer. But this is coming from this lack, which is why the Luminous Doom is here. Luminous Doom is really, really down on his luck. He feels really sorry for himself. He takes pessimism to new levels. Can even be depression. There is a feeling of loneliness here and a real push and desire to connect. It's almost like you've got you know, your eyes locked on something that's going to solve all your problems. Now you have to watch that, because it does feel like it's coming from a, like, this will fix it. Yeah, this will fix me. And that is going to, you know, it comes from a place of codependency, a place of lack. The Five of Pentacles. It's like, this is what's going to lift me out of my sadness or my depression or my lack of cash, or, you know, whatever it may be. Insert here. Remember, it can be flipped, and that's something you need to achieve in your own. You need to get yourself to you know, a place, a level where you can, you know, meet evenly, without deception, without manipulation, without lies, for it to, you know, be sustainable, really. Okay, Cancer, that's your reading for the week. Moving on to Pisces. Crikey, Bardo. Got a wee shiver when this one came out. I've got the book out because I'm going to read this. This is my new archetype deck from Kim Krantz, is it? It's Kim Krantz, yeah. The archetype, the wild unknown. She does some card, isn't it? It is said that the Bardo is a place between this life and the next, a liminal realm through which souls pass. Envisioning this inherently mysterious space, it creates the potential for us to rise above the concerns of this world and see our relationships through a cosmic and timeless lens. We may receive messages from those who are no longer with us, or see visions of lives not yet lived. In the Bardo, there is potential to forgive the unforgivable, to say the unsaid, to see the unseen, and to love the unloved. To let go of all the things that cause us pain. The Bardo suspends us in a spaciousness for just long enough to open us to higher wisdom. Its energy does not belong to this earth as we know it, but rather to the cosmic network of which we are a single thread. So as much as it does look like a scary card, it does come with the Death card. So Pisces, this may be that you're getting messages from beyond, or you're being maybe guided. I do have the pathway here to maybe open up to that kind of information coming in, but it may be something that's a little bit frightening for you. It's telling you this is not to be afraid of whatever this is, and to take advantage of this energy that's currently surrounding you, and you have to trust that the message for you from the beyond, you need to listen to that and work out who's speaking to you, who are the messages coming from. I mean, in its dark side, which I don't think it is, but you know, it can easily be flipped. It can go into, like, you know, hallucinations and being tormented and, you know, being afraid of things that go bump in the night, that sort of thing. But with the Death card here, they just speak about something that's really, really final, really final. But yeah, I feel, Pisces, you're coming through as looking for answers. You do have the pathway, and you're looking for definitive answers. You don't want anything wishy-washy. You almost want a black and white or a yes or no. And I'm not sure that that's quite coming through here, because your pathway is to the Ten of Pentacles. So you want something really solid. Really solid. This is like for the long term. The Ten of Pentacles, you can just speak of housing and family. You may be, you know, wanting that in your life if you don't currently have it. This is all the generations coming together, but I just sort of get this kind of you know, wispy vibe for some of you, not all of you, that it's connecting, you know, with family, with ancestors. But the path that you want to sort of go on is towards solidity. Maybe some of you just want to end something and, you know, retire. Now, the occupation and concern cards, this is obviously worrying about your occupation. It's come out with the Eight of Pentacles as well. So work is highly featured here, what you're working on. And someone is really working their fingers to the bone here. And there may even be a desire just to, you know, throw in the towel and, you know, yeah, retire. These did fly out in reverse, but I noticed my whole deck was in reverse, so I've uprighted them. For some of them, for some of you, this could literally be that you're not worrying about your work anymore. You're putting on a front when you're there. It doesn't give you any pleasure, and you are basically looking to secure your retirement. Pay off your mortgage. Maybe even, you know, for some of you, downsize so that you don't have any financial concerns. There's something about the workplace here and what you're doing day in, day out, that has a mask on it. Either, you know, some of you are just having to put a face on at work. Or, you know, what you do for a living is not what people think you do for a living. And there's concern about that. And this concern card can be like murky thoughts, you know, negative thoughts, scary thoughts. You know, yeah, kind of anxiety, because the karma card came out sideways. It's almost like you might need to make a judgment on something. It feels quite big. This can be worrying that, you know, having maybe like a little bit of a nightmare that a decision that you'll make has been a wrong one, or the decision that you have made in the past has been a wrong one. And maybe if things are not going your way, you know, you're maybe thinking that you're in some way being punished for that. It's sideways. I don't see anything like that to suggest that, Pisces, but that's just what I'm picking up on. There is concern about your occupation, maybe just what you do for a living, or the fact that, you know, maybe people you're working with are a bit fake. I will clarify that mask card, but it very much speaks of putting on a face, you know, to the outer world, which is, and it's not how you are. I do think it's quite something that both these cards actually depict a seamstress, someone sewing, someone working really hard, usually for not very much money, working through the night, you know, maybe working 2 jobs. Stitch in 9, a stitch in time, what is that saying? A stitch in time saves 9. Something like that. I don't know why that's came up. But yeah, I don't know if it's an organization you work for. I've got the High Priest in reverse here, and I've also got the Tower. And this is almost like, you know, the government, or, you know, a large organization of some sort that you work for. And there's maybe something that you feel is unethical about the company that you work for. Or I don't know, you're just not digging it. And you're looking for your path to your Ten of Pentacles. So, you know, you want the security, you want, you know, yeah, you want that. You want, you know, everything settled, family taken care of. the kids and the grandkids and the dogs, etc. But it's almost like you're maybe even having to work too hard for it. Let's have a wee look at that. Because the High Priest in reverse can sometimes speak about, you know, things not being done properly, having problems with authority, having problems with the tax man, or yeah, it's almost like you're working two jobs, you're working too hard. But there's a feeling of kind of bending some rules here and being afraid that that might bite you in the arse at some point. I don't know. Pisces, what do we need to look at? Let's have a look at the Tower with the High Priest in reverse. Yeah, so this is this desire to break free. Release of the shadows is about breaking free of the darkness. Yeah, connection is in reverse, but maybe just not knowing where to go with that. There is a fear that there is negative karma, that you are in some way maybe going to be punished, or maybe just a fear of disconnecting from this. Where do you go now? You know, Lisa is just about breaking out of the darkness. It's about, she's my healer. She breaks you free of addictions or anything that's got you stuck and bound. She'll come in and she'll help you. She'll give you really good tools, really good advice, point you in the right direction. There is this desire but to break out and go in this new path possibly, but there is a fear about doing it. I don't know what kind of company it is you work for, but it feels restrictive. I don't need to ask who you work for. If that's your, you'll know who you work for. I've got the Puck in reverse, and this is like not being able to solve this problem about how to break free, how to move into the future life that you imagine for yourself. The Puck in reverse is about it's a bit of a paradox. It's just not knowing the way out. Everything is contradictory, non-resolved, not being able to be clear on how you get out, wanting to leave but a little bit reluctant to leave as well. Let's just take a wee bit of advice on that. Yeah, and maybe these messages are coming through for you, and someone is trying to, you know, guide you in some way. So you need to be open to that, or ask the question, maybe Pisces, maybe that would help. What advice do you have for, oh crikey, 2 cards down. I can try and see them from here. Passion, renewal, and impartiality. So, you know, there's a desire to, you know, follow what gets your juices flowing, what excites you. But with impartiality, it's about trying to be the mediator, not taking any side, sitting on the fence, not committing yourself in either direction. So the advice is basically to, in terms of renewal of self, is to follow what makes you passionate. And, you know, ultimately that should lead to the 10 of Pentacles. You've got balance and self-worth. So this is about having faith in yourself to follow the path that you want to follow. That's it. Trust, you have to trust in yourself and take the first step in the direction that you want to move in, because where you are now is a place of concern and feeling restricted in terms of what you're doing. Okay, Scorpio. Oh, I said I'd ask about the mask, didn't I? Hang on. Why is the mask here on the 8 of Pentacles, an occupation for Pisces? Why is the mask here? I think we kind of already know. Yeah. Michael and Muckle. This is like, you know, being at work and like cracking jokes and being really, you know, light-hearted and easygoing and childlike and goofing off and stuff like that. That's not what's going on here. So it may be that whatever environment you're in, you've just got to, you know, keep upbeat, and maybe you do have plans, you know, maybe you do have an exit strategy, but you're not letting on. You're not letting on when you're out there with your mask on. that things are not, you know, how you want them to be, basically. Alrighty, Scorpio, you've got the comic with the mother. I had a bit of a chuckle at this. This comic card's a bit weird. I'm not digging it at all. It's probably one of the most disappointing cards here. It's about being really easygoing. Obviously, the mother archetype speaks for itself. Either you're a mother, or you're dealing with your mother, or the mother of your child is the mother. It can be a mother and child, but this is about being really light-hearted and easygoing, maybe a bit sarcastic. I honestly, I'm not going to lie, I got like a real manic laugh, you know, like I got this whole shitty day that I once had. Oh my god. And I was like doing a valuation, and where I live, you've only got GPS for so long, right? And you can be in the middle of fucking nowhere and it just goes off. And there's nobody to ask for miles. So all you can do with this like first part of a postcode while looking for some uninhabited, terrifying farm is go up each and every lane. So this was my morning in the pissing rain in January, and the rain was so heavy when I was going up these tracks, and they're all washed away, they're just tracks. You're actually having to drive on the side, because if you were to go up the track normally, you'd just be, you know, you'd be ground in, you'd be beached. So I'm driving like this all the way up. It was just the most horrendous day ever. I walked through like all these farm grids and empty, it was just hideous. And I got into this house, and it had been unoccupied for so long, and there was it was the most terrifying place, because I'm pretty sensitive to you know, property and stuff like that, and feelings. The whole window in the kitchen was filled with dead flies and cobwebs. My god, I was literally shivering, and I was so afraid to close the door, and I was miles from anywhere, and I had no phone signal or anything, so I had to go and measure this up, and like with my little dictaphone. And I wouldn't go in the bathroom because literally the hair was stood in my head. When I went up the stairs, it was like going into like the pit of hell and trying to measure it. And at one point I just went fuck it and legged it, and I started running. And I had a slit skirt on and 3-inch heels, and I slit my skirt right up, and I tore my ties, and then I fell down the grid, and I got back in my car, at which point I'm nearly crying. Well, I don't know why I'm telling you all this, but this is it. It went from bad to worse that day. I was like washing my stockings in the sink of a service station. It's like that. It's like you've had the worst day, and then like you lose your job, and then you fall up the stairs, and you get to the point where it's just so bad you're like manically laughing. And this is what I'm getting. I don't know why, because I get the 10 of Wands. It's like a real fucking moment. This is like a comedy skit, you know, my life right now. That's what I'm getting. So you've got the 9 of Wands, and I got this, you know, fuck it, and also come at me, you know, because it just feels like a comedy of errors here. So you've got the house. Oh god, despair and concern. So I'm not making light of this, because this could, you know, it might be heavy. I'm hoping it's not you and maybe who you're dealing with, but this is so full of shit. It's unbelievable. You just honestly can't believe it, because it's like the third or fourth or fifth hideous experience in the same day here. Oh god. So on the house, which obviously can relate to, you know, basically property, your home, someone else's home, the mother of the home, you've got the Page of Swords in reverse in the full, and this is just someone absolutely talking shit, being a complete and utter idiot. And this is when I got like almost like the manic laughter. Seriously. It's like, seriously, this is what you're coming at me with. I don't know who it is or what you're dealing with, but it's just bullshit. It's like just having the worst day to the point that it's funny. If you don't laugh, you'll cry. Scorpio, that's kind of what it's like. The Knight of Swords in reverse. Now, he's a networker. So this is someone who can be aggressive and angry. This feels like somebody who's spoiling for a fight. Yes, baby. Thank you. Yeah. And he's a networker. So that would be somebody, especially the Page of Swords here, who's like, you know, maybe spreading information, or you're maybe hearing second-hand information about this person, or they're trying to, you know, spread fear or falsehood. And maybe this is something they've already done. But this is panic. Whatever this foolish, impulsive, thoughtless action is coming from a place of panic. Because it's almost like there's so much, you're spinning all these plates and they're all falling at the same time, and there's not a thing you can do about it. So really the best thing you can do is, you know, I don't know, watch a comedy. Find something to laugh about. I don't know, Scorpio, but it felt like a manic, you know, manic laughter. Either it is funny and then you'll end up in a, you know, a pool of tears and then you just go to your bed, or someone is literally having a complete and utter meltdown here. The message of concern is coming through, and the message of concern is a lie as well, or it's about someone who has lied about their home situation. The Four of Wands is the home. That's your security, your stability. Obviously, it can be a marriage and celebration. Someone has lied. And they, I mean, either you're sick about it or they're sick about it, but it's almost got to the point where it's just farcical. It feels farcical. Why is it, show me the message of concern. I'm not going to see the message because the message is bullshit as well. It's the Seven of Swords. It can be someone that's literally trying to press your buttons, which is why I'm getting you're dropping any burden that whatever this is in connection with, and you're going full on defense. Message of concern, the Seven of Swords for Scorpio. Too many. Message of concern for Scorpio. The Wrath is the Wild. This is my hothead. This is probably the Knight of Swords in reverse. The Wrath is the Wild is, you know, it can be like love at first sight. It's a very lusty energy. It's a very hot-headed. Oh, for fuck's sake. Look at this shit. This is what's laughable. This is a full-blown, you know, lusty narc, basically. Talking shit. Okay. I think this is probably the Scorpio. This is like a joke. That's all I get. This is like a joke. This is fucking hilarious. You're a laugh a minute, mister. With your bullshit. That's all I'm getting. This is someone who is, you know, yeah, I mean, it's a narcissist. It's like Lancôme. He's Smooth Harry. He talks shit. He'll say whatever he needs to say to get the desired outcome. He's completely and utterly sly. He's got absolutely no morals. He's delusional. And he's like, you know, on fucking heat. I don't know. Christ. Yeah, you're probably going to need a half a bottle of wine and a good old chuckle, because it's a joke. Advice. What advice should we take? Take me dancing tonight? Don't think so. Let's just take advice from the Norman for you, Scorpio. Please let me know if these resonate. I'm going to do my ear signs next. And obviously you are late because I think your day is probably a Thursday, and then I had the full moon that was crap. Scorpio's advice for their dealings. Oh, hang on, I've only got a partial deck, beg your pardon. Maybe I never promised you a rose garden. Oh, for goodness sake, we're all messed up. Look at there. Advice for a Scorpio. Advice for Scorpio. Just speaks of news, an announcement, a visitor, the mail. This might be the message of concern, but what is the advice for Scorpio, please, for this coming week? Yes, it's a troubling message. And it's full of flattery and invitation. And you're not going to know what to do about it. Going to go possibly quite anxious. That can speak of something that's it's a loss or a theft. It's a troubling announcement, and yet at the same time it has the bouquet with it. Maybe you're going to get a bunch of flowers. I don't know why, but it just, I mean, well, you know, it's a lusting arc. So that's it. Do with that what you will. That's your reading, guys. Look after yourselves and I'll talk to you soon.